Hello, 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 and welcome to Made to Lead Millions podcast. I am your host, Coach Krystal Henry, and I am so super excited that you have joined me here on tonight. I have a spectacular guest that I'll introduce in a few minutes. Let me just let you know what is going on, what you're walking into. So, welcome again. This is Made to Lead Millions podcast, where purpose meets leadership, impact knows no bounds. I am your host, and I empower you to step into your calling, lead with confidence, and make a difference in the lives of millions. I have been seen on over 400 media outlets, featured on billboards, and now I am a 16-time Amazon best-selling author. I'm also an international speaker and the host of the Krystal Henry Show that airs in Atlanta, Georgia, a publisher and a visibility coach that helps leaders step into their spotlight. If you're ready to go from what if to what is, then let me be your guide. Make sure that you connect with me at krystalhenry.net. Now, my guest tonight, we're doing something just a little bit crazy, a little bit different. Going through my divorce, I took a step out. And what I did was I got therapy. When you're told you're crazy and you're tripping and you're being gaslighted, the very thing that most people don't do is they get angry, but they don't work on themselves. So the first thing I did was contact a therapist, and someone that I have known for years, someone that I have grown to not only write with, but be on a cruise with and be able to coach. I would like to bring to the stage my therapist, and I'm going to give her the opportunity to let her tell you who she is. And basically, we are going to have a live therapy session. So I'm going to be very transparent, and she will too. And so this is what we're doing tonight on Made to Lead Millions podcast, so that you know that therapy is what we all need in our life. And let me just introduce you to my friend, Dr. D. Hey, Dr. Diana, come on up. Let them know who you are.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Diana Davis, affectionately known as Dr. D. I'm a licensed Christian counselor and relationship transformational specialist with decades of experience working alongside women in their healing process and journeys. Officially, I am credentialed with National Christian Counselor Association of Florida since 2018. I also have a doctorate in theology and in Christian counseling since 2019. My combined spiritual wisdom and practical counseling to help guide others to a lasting change and transformation in their life. My focus is helping women strengthen their relationship, first with themselves, in their marriages, and in their relationships and interactions with other people. I am passionate about helping women move from surviving difficult situations to a living intentionality in the life that they desire to live and always was called to live. I help you become emotionally healthy, spiritually grounded, and relationally whole. And how many of us want to be whole today? You know, the world thinks we don't supposed to be broken, but sometimes we are. It's more than just being a human. It's being changed and transitioned. Thank you, Coach Krystal.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us know a little bit about who you are. Now, for this time, I would like y'all, for those of you that are able to share this podcast, make sure that you share us, because people need to know what therapy is all about, how it can be useful. So please enjoy this session, grab a pen and a piece of paper, and enjoy this Made to Lead Millions podcast. So, Dr. Diana, when we first our first session, never forget, I was very nervous. Um, and this was before I separated. I started calling me. And in the midst of being gaslighted, I didn't really even know what gaslighting was. I didn't know uh, what I was going through was something that other women went through. So often when we're going through things in our life, we think and feel like we are alone. So I just want to give you the opportunity to let them know um, how a discovery call will be handled, kind of what you did for me on our first session.
Okay. In a discovery call, basically, what I do is about 15 minutes approximately. And what I do is listen to what it is you think you're going through. I interact with questions, trying to get a better idea of where you're at and what you're going through and how you are deciding to move in that situation, whether it's moving through the process or moving out of the process, and give you some guidance as to what we can do working together to transition you from what was to what is. That's what I did with Crystal. I listened first to what she was going through, what she was experiencing. I asked her questions, pertinent questions that she had to be very vulnerable to share with me. And when she shared with me, I was able to um, write down everything that was needed and was pertinent to her healing. Then I went in to the Lord and asked the Lord to reveal to me how can I help her process through this change, because it was a change. Transition is a change, and sometimes we're not ready for change. So when you call me, that's going to be the number one question: are you ready for change? Are you ready to shift?
Woo! Was I ready to shift? No, I wasn't. I was not ready to shift. I wanted to save my marriage. I wanted to get counseling. I wanted to fast and pray with my spouse. And it was very difficult to be told no. 27 years, I couldn't just take it lightly, and I didn't want to take it laying down. And
So
so
true.
I've over the years, I know there was two instances where I was done. I'm ready to leave. I'm fed up. I'm hurt. Um, and every time I went to another Christian, I was always told, woman of God, no, I'm going to pray for you. Woman of God, everything is going to be all right. Don't worry about that. Everything is working out for your good. Praying and fasting for years and being a person that coaches other people, that ministers to other people. God, why isn't it working out for me? Those were some of the questions that I asked myself, some of the thoughts that ran through my mind. And we did marriage ministry for 12 years. So we were clear on what to do in a marriage maintenance, staying connected. And I was just coming out of, or we were just coming out of a time where I can say was probably the funnest, the best time of my marriage was coming out of the pandemic. We had some laughter, some good times. We were doing TikToks. We were doing little skits and dances and love songs, and just a lot of um, uh, together time. To being together, and um, and then I can remember. Um, I remember the dates. I'm not going to give all the dates, but I remember the dates. I can say August 3rd. I can say, December this, May this, March this. I can tell you the dates because um, it was shocking and it was life changing. So, um, when I first called you, I was like, this is what's going on. Um, I was, I hadn't been touched in months and hadn't really been talked to. I was getting silent treatment. Um, but then I was getting messages from outside from people, you know, through my DMs. I was getting messages, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not insecure. I'm not. I'm not overweight. I'm not trying to lose weight. I'm getting these different messages about what is being told about me, but that is not anything I said. So when I came to you, I was like, what do I do when somebody is clearly talking about me, but not touching me, communicating with me? What am I crazy? What do I do?
No, well, you wasn't crazy. You was being gaslit. But the thing is that when you're being attacked like that, you have to be able to look at yourself realistically. Realistically, how did you give up 27 years? All of a sudden, things changes, and you don't know what happened to make it change. He doesn't touch you for a year. Those are red flags saying something is out of order. Now, and the thing that most women do, the mistake that most of us make is that we try to blame ourselves. We're not good enough. We're not good enough wife. We're not doing the things that we're supposed to do to help to accommodate them. You could be doing all the right things, and he still could be doing what he wants to do and the way he wants to do it. The fact that you haven't been touched could lead to an understanding that maybe he has someone else. Maybe he's seeing someone else. That can be true, or maybe he just don't want to touch it. He's lost interest in you. So as a wife, you think you should be enough, and the things that you're doing should be enough. So you
Absolutely.
try to confront them. You try to ask them, "Baby, what's going on? Why are you doing this? Baby, how can I make it right for you?" I mean, try to find ways to not just accommodate, but to open up communications. Because the thing is, he's not talking.
Right.
He's being
Right.
silent, and
Right.
he's shutting down. And
Right.
so whatever you're doing, whatever he perceived that you are doing, makes you feel like it is all your fault. So it's the
Right.
stage that the enemy sets up to make us to make women feel guilty that if a man wants to leave the marriage, well, I'm leaving because of what you're not doing. I'm leaving because
Right.
you're not saying.
Right. And that's why knowing knowing that for years we had been training in marriage ministry and marriage maintenance, I made sure that I kept my weight at a certain level, that I didn't go past a certain size. I made sure that I was every woman. So if I
So,
felt
but
like
who you
having
was
red
doing?
hair,
May
I
I
was,
ask you who you
yes.
was doing it for? You was doing it for him or for you?
Well, there's some things that I knew about my spouse. He liked women to be a certain size.
Hmm.
He liked variety. So I made sure that I was redhead, brown hair, curly hair, straight hair, blonde hair. I made sure that when they say men are visual,
They
I
are.
made sure that he had something good to look at. I made sure that I got up, put on makeup, put on clothes, um, and this is not something that I taught but didn't do. I do believe what I teach as well as I'm a doer of it. So I was still working out, still watching my weight, still getting my nails done, getting my feet done. I was making sure, buying new clothes, stuff that would be flattering. So yeah, doing the things that I could possibly do, getting in the Word, getting in, reading God's Word, not being a nag. I had developed years and years ago how not to nag a man.
Right.
I'm gonna say it once and I'm gonna let it go. If it doesn't change, I'm gonna come back a second time, a little bit softer, and at a different time after a time of comfort. Y'all know what I mean. And
Hmm.
we might discuss that then, you know, and I know I made sure that I didn't go past like the three times. Like, okay, we're going to talk about this three times. If not, we'll figure out another way to address this issue.
Exactly. You have to find a way to address the issues and not be afraid to confront it.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact is about confrontation, you also have to find an opportunity and a time that befits both of you, not just you or not just him, where you could be very open and honest and vulnerable with what is going on at that time. The thing
Absolutely.
is, when a man or even a woman asks their spouse for a divorce, it set a trigger on the inside of
Yes.
people.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't just affect the marriage on the outside. It
Mm.
affects all of you. Your
Yes.
emotions, your mental capacity, your physical well-being, your spiritual life, everything is affected. And
Yes.
and because everything is affected, some people have a tendency to internalize their emotions, their anger, the denial, the not accepting what he said, because the love for that person is stronger than they ever could imagine. Because
Yes.
actually, it's two souls that actually either have become one or is
Yes.
already one. And the
Right.
thing about two souls being one, when there's
Mm-hmm.
a divorce involved,
Yes.
you are actually splitting
Your soul.
your soul.
Yes. You are ripping your souls
You're
apart.
ripping
So
your soul
when
open.
we got married, it was more than just a marriage because
Mhm.
we were married August 31st, 95 and 96, and we were baptized together the next day, September 1st.
Right.
So when you have not only joined in holy matrimony, we cleaved to one another, we left
Right.
our parents, we united in holy matrimony before witnesses and God, and then we got baptized together, we got dipped, drenched, dunked, and then we went into
All the right things.
all the right things. We went into ministry together. And, you know, building a ministry before we could build a family. He had other children before we got together, so he had other children. I had
Yeah.
stepped, and that was never a major issue. That was never a major issue. Arguing was not a major thing that we did, and if we argued, it was usually about outside people. Um, the devastation of divorce is definitely rejection, you
Right.
know. So now you're dealing with a spirit of rejection. You're dealing with be with hurt, with pain, um,
Abandonment.
and abandonment. Yes, because I was abandoned before I left, and I used to tell him I did not get married to be alone. Didn't get married to be alone. I'm not saying that I was the perfect wife, and I'm not saying that he was the worst husband, because, like I said, we were coming out of a phase that was probably the best time of our marriage.
And that part right there is so weird. It's almost like he was giving you the best of him before he let
Yes,
you go.
yes,
Um, but in those particular cases, that's very traumatic, and
very.
I want to share that because a divorce is trauma happening to you.
Now, I want to stop you right there because when you first told me about divorce being trauma, because of what I have gone through in my life, I've had a gun pulled on me, I've been in car wrecks, I've um, been cussed out, assaulted, talked too crazy, I've gone through microaggressions, racism, um, several different things that I would consider trauma. I've also been divorced because I was married before this relationship for three and a
Mhm.
half years. So my first marriage lasted 3.5 years, and um, I wasn't as devastated with that first marriage as I was with this one, because we're talking a lifetime, a whole entire child, a whole church. We're talking about a whole church
You
ministry.
was totally integrated with your husband. You was
Yes,
actually the two became one. You was
yes,
actually the three-string cord all tied together.
absolutely.
And it's hard to separate that when one wants to go to a different direction. So when
Yes,
I speak about trauma, what happens is that something hit the very essence of your being that you never expected. It's like it came out of nowhere. Well, actually, it didn't come out of nowhere. You just didn't expect it the way it happened because
well,
it
i'm
was.
gonna i'm gonna say this. You're right, I didn't expect it the way it happened,
Yes,
but I will say the God's word is true. God
yes, he did.
left the 99 to come get me.
Get the one. Yes, he did.
And the reason why I can say God came and got me is because he sent four prophets. So
Yes, he did.
although I didn't think divorce was trauma, it had to be traumatic enough for God to send prophets,
Four people.
four of them.
Four people.
Yes,
And not only did he send you four people, he gave you a dream two times. I think at least two times, letting you know what was about to transpire.
yes,
So being traumatic means something is about to shift in your life. Something is about to change in your life that will hit you like a ton of bricks. And you don't always know how to come out of it. You don't always know how to walk through it because it goes deep, because your relationship was deep. It's
yes.
very stressful. You don't know which way you're going or which way to turn. You
Mm-mm.
don't know who's your friend and who's not your friend. You always
Oh, I know
always
now.
everything that's around you. So traumatic trauma comes to shift you.
Yes,
But if you allow trauma, the pain of the trauma to and work with it, it will process you through the transition to a better version of who you are. And
yes.
sometimes in a divorce, it is hard, especially when you love hard and you gave your everything, and there's nothing that you knew to do because no matter what you try to do, it wasn't going to be right anyway. So rejection and abandonment has a way of seeping into our emotional and spiritual well-being and our soulish realm, creating heart disease,
Mm.
kidney failure. Come on, y'all.
Yes,
I'm being
yes,
real.
yes.
Disease in our bones,
Mm-hmm.
blindness in our
Mm-hmm.
eyes, hard to hear. It affects us spiritually. So when we don't allow the pain of what we go through be process us to a better place, a better version, we begin to feel it in the very most inner part of our being. And I'm grateful that you stayed in that place on a short time because you start relying on who God was to you and you start allowing him to remind you of who you were. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the key because in a marriage, you're supposed to be the two in one. You're supposed to become one.
Right.
But we also have to remember that we each of us in a marriage is uniquely individual.
Mm-hmm.
We was uniquely made. We got our
Mm-hmm.
own fingerprint. We have our
Yes.
own spiritual DNA. And sometimes we have to understand, yes, I'm married to you, but I'm still my own person.
Yes.
Yes, I
Yes.
work with you. I do things with you. We work together and we do ministry together, but I'm still my own individual. So, one of the things that I've learned in dealing with relationship is that you have to first learn to be friends. Because if you're not
Yes.
friends, if you don't have that basis of true friendship, I'm not talking
Mm-hmm.
about surface friendship, just
Right.
enough to get married, or just enough to have a relationship, or you just physically attracted to a person, but you never get to that point where if you have an
Mm-hmm.
issue, can that relationship sustain you through that issue? Can that
Right.
relationship sustain you if you um
Sick, illness. And
sick?
there was, yes, there we had illness. We had cancer. We fought
Yeah, can it
cancer.
sustain you?
Right.
That's when the
Mm-hmm.
friendship part comes in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's where the I will love you for better or for worse, for sickness and in health, until death do us part. Because once we get married, those words that we committed ourselves to at the altar begin to be tested.
Yes, absolutely.
It begins to
Absolutely.
be tested, and if we cannot come together and to fellowship with one another as a husband and wife, but also as best friends, because you hear a lot in a lot of
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
ministries in the
Mm-hmm.
secular world and in the Christian world that he's my best friend, she's my
Right.
best friend.
Right.
But what happens when divorce comes?
Yes.
We find
Yes.
ourselves in a place of idolizing that person because we gave so much to that person, and we
Yes.
lose track of who we are.
And
You
that's
know,
what I was going to say. I was Coach Krystal. I was Jedi's mom. I was First Lady, the pastor's wife. I had all these other hats,
I
evangelist. I had pastor. I had all these other hats. And for all my hats to be
none of them
taken
could
away,
sustain you.
well, not all. I'm still mother.
Uh
I'm
huh.
still coach. Um, I'm a pastor without a congregation the way I used to have a congregation. Um, the way, a congregation was there. Um, now, my evangelism is changing the way I minister.
Right.
Um, Now it's a shift. Being sleeping next to the same person for
27
over
years.
20 years, and then you're not. I
And to
remember,
be honest, with you, um, can we be real right here?
yeah,
When you've been with somebody that long, you miss that touch.
okay, come on now. You miss the
You
touch, you
miss
miss
the
the
touch.
hug, you miss the
You miss the hug. You
conversation,
miss that
you miss
coffee.
you
Yes,
miss
you
the
miss that.
attention. But I need you to understand. See, there's a difference between missing and becoming completely undisciplined. And
Yes.
I was angry because I felt like I'm out here. You don't put me outside.
Yeah. You felt uncovered.
Oh, I didn't feel uncovered. I am uncovered.
Uncovered.
I am uncovered because when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. But when
Exactly.
a man abuses the favor and puts the favor outside, what happens? What happens to the favor?
Well, can
So,
I go? So can I go to Ezekiel 16:6? And I'm going there for a reason. And I know it's about birth. I understand it's about birth. But in Ezekiel 16:6, God appeared on the scene. This is a revelation that God gave to Ezekiel. And it said, "But I came by and saw you there." In other
mm,
words, he saw this person, this woman naked,
mm,
helplessly kicking around in your own blood.
mm,
As you lay there, I say, live, and I will help you to thrive like a plant
mm,
in the field. The Lord gave me this a couple of days ago, and I stopped pondering on it because it's about a birth of a child that was abandoned by the mother
yes,
and was
hmm,
left to die in her own blood. Well,
yes,
trauma, divorce, things like that that have such a negative effect on us, and the Lord led me to see that that is what happened to us. Because a
mm,
rebirth is trying to happen, a
mm,
transition is trying to happen, and we find ourselves in places and spaces that we don't even know how we got there. So the blood that God found that person in was actually the mess they were in. Because divorce is a mess. It
yes,
unravels so many different things.
yes,
Separation for someone you love is a mess because it unravels so much. And
hmm,
the thing about divorce is that you get a chance to see that person if y'all
true, true colors,
everywhere,
new colors, yeah, you
everywhere.
right. We
Sometimes you
already
even get an
saw.
opportunity to talk to them again, to have a relationship with them again, but on a different level. It's
No,
not like
there's
somebody that's died. It's that you don't get a chance to see and grieve over.
But
This
wait a
person is
minute.
alive and you're grieving over it.
That part. Let's stop right there. You are listening to Made to Lead Millions podcast. I am Coach Krystal Henry, and I am letting you in on a personal therapy session with my therapist, none other than Dr. Diana Davis. Let's stop right there with the divorce and dealing with, am I desperate?
Some women
Um,
are.
right.
Some women
Because
are.
you don't want to fall into that. Am I lonely? Am I will I at my age, after being married half of
Your
my
life.
life, because I'm literally been married half of my life. And will will I ever get married again? Now I'm going to tell you, let me lean in close to the camera, because I still believe in love and I still believe in marriage. Okay? God sent me to the most beautiful wedding 2 months after we separated. And I was like, God, why are you sending me here? Why am I in Atlanta at this beautiful wedding? But God wanted me to see that marriage is still possible. There's still love out there.
Exactly.
And you being bitter is not for me. I am not, I'm not bitter. No, but I am blocked. So when you talked about not, you get no closure when you're blocked. There's
No.
no like final conversation. And my son, our son and I are blocked. So there's not a conversation to be had. You just have to go on. And when someone dies, well, the closure is they're in a grave, and
Right.
the dirt is over them, and so you can't have a conversation. But when you're blocked, that's
You
a
go
choice.
on.
That's a
It's
choice.
that person's loss.
And
It's not your
right,
loss.
exactly. So some people can't forgive without closure. So you have to work your way into forgiving. You have to work your way into letting go, because forgiveness is not for him,
That
it's for me.
person.
The
The
forgiveness
forgiveness
is
is for
for
you.
me, for the
Right.
person that forgives.
So
Um,
and it doesn't take two people for forgiveness. The act of
mm-mm.
forgiveness is you
Starts
making
right
a
here.
decision that you would no longer let that other person have a negative effect in your life. You no longer will have that person control your way of thinking, your way of doing, your way of being. This. You no longer will have that person keep you up at night or stop you from
Absolutely
moving
not.
forward. So
Absolutely not.
forgiveness is for you. And when we walk in unforgiveness, it's like us drinking, me drinking poison, hoping you die.
Right. Come on. Come
It ain't
on.
gonna work. Guess
No,
who's gonna die? You who drank the poison. So
exactly.
forgiveness is so important for
Hmm.
anybody who's walking in bitterness or unforgiveness. Is to set yourself free. Is to
Yes,
help you see there's a better plan for you in your life. Jeremiah 29:11
absolutely.
tells us that the thoughts I have for you and the plans I have for you are good and not of evil, to give
Yes.
you a hope in the future. What I
Hmm.
like about that is that sometimes we make decisions in marriage that we should never make. It was never in God's plan. I'm not saying that was for Krystal, but someone
Right.
needs to hear that.
Yes.
Sometimes we
Yes.
say yes to a marriage that was never God planned for us. So when the
Sometimes we
bottom,
stay too long.
yes, and sometimes you stay too long, and
Hmm.
when the bottom drops, you don't know where else to go because you invested just about all 100% in yourself in that marriage relationship. And so
Yes.
now you have to try to recreate yourself. Well, that's why Jeremiah 29:11 is so important, because God said,
Yes.
I know the thoughts I got for you. That means
Yes.
those thoughts He has for you are good. They're
Yes.
not an evil. He
Yes.
already have plans for you. So
Yes.
now we have to allow Him to recreate us by molding us again, shaping
Yes.
us again,
Yes.
taking out all the impurities and then
Yes.
putting us back where we belong, with a transformed mind, with a kingdom
Yes.
mindset, and move forward in the things that He has for us.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
so marriage, I applaud you for wanting to be married, because marriage is the closest thing next to a relationship with God.
Yes.
Because we are called to love the Lord with our heart, our mind, our soul, and our strength, to give the very essence of who we are to Him. And
Yes.
He will provide for us. He will take care of us. He will protect us. And it comes with having a relationship with God. So when
Yes.
you're married, when you're married,
Oh,
I'm
watch out
sorry.
your mic. Okay, go ahead.
When you are married, you are submitting to your husband. But guess what? Your husband is submitting to you as well.
Absolutely, and to
It's
God.
a two-way street.
Absolutely. Yes. That we
So
taught that for years. We taught that for
yes,
years.
you know,
Yes.
it's not just the husband submit. I mean, the woman submitting to the husband. The word of God
Yes.
says that you got to submit one to
One to
another.
another. Absolutely.
So when we
And
submit one to another, we are learning to be submissive to God. Because the
yes.
word tells us also to submit to God, to resist the enemy, and he got to
Yes.
flee. And
Absolutely.
that submission will give God the opportunity to do his will in our life. We may not
Yes.
always like his will, you know, but because he loves us, he processes us through. He walks with us through the process of change, the process of transitioning and transformation. But we got to trust him to do
Yes.
that.
Yes. Yeah. And it's difficult, I remember getting the first dream. It was like February 5th, 2000. It was I'm sorry, 2020. It was right before the pandemic closed. Like everything shut down for the pandemic.
Hmm.
And I got this dream and I woke up like out of my dream, totally afraid. And I was like, no, God. In the dream, in the dream, he passed. And so I was so afraid that he was going to die. So for months, I prayed, God save him. God let him live, to be 99, let him live, 100 years, you know. I prayed, I was like, Lord, don't take him. And, I was like, God, this is, no. I was not accepting it.
I can relate to that. I can understand that.
Yeah. And so here I was thinking, like, what is going on after some of the happiest months of our lives together? And I have prophets saying, um, leave them, get out of the chaos. And I'm trying to figure out what chaos and who is them. Then that was the first prophet. Then the second prophet comes 2 months later. And I'm like, okay, they're warning me there's a relationship that's going to end. And when this relationship ends, people are going to think that you're going to lose your mind. And I'm like, it can't be that relationship, God. Now, I don't know what no. Then the third prophet came and he said an argument. He said the exact words of the argument that we had in the kitchen. And it was just he and I. That prophet called me to the front of the church and he said, I see. He said, you liked me 2 weeks ago. You don't like me now. What did I do? He said, I hear him saying this to you. I was like, okay, now I know who this is without a shadow of a
I
doubt.
remember.
I'm clear on who this is. And really, God? Like, and then the fourth one came. And I was like, okay, God. She said, I see this word and this is what he's doing. And I said, okay. I was like, Lord, give me the evidence.
So what I like about what I'm applauding you about is that you did not ignore the warnings. You did not ignore the messages. Because so many times as women we have a tendency to ignore the things as that's happening in the undercurrent. We see the signs and we ignore it. Oh, he loves me, he ain't going nowhere. And the same thing for a man, because the man deals with the
Mhm.
same thing. You
Absolutely.
know,
Mhm.
or the dreams you had, you sought the Lord. Okay, what does this mean?
Yes.
And He
Yes.
began to start opening revelation to you as to what was happening.
Yes.
Not all of us are equipped to do that. Not all
Yes.
women are equipped. Not all women know to do that. That's
Yes.
why so many of them suffer so much after a divorce.
Yes.
I want to encourage you, the women that are listening. Um, I know it hurts. I know it don't make sense. I know you gave your all, but God has a better plan for you. He
Yes.
wants to
Yes.
invest more in you than you could ever fathom and imagine. Just give Him the
Yes.
opportunity. Say yes to Him. Thank Him for what you went through, because that's one thing I know Krista did. She thanked God for the experience of being married to Him.
Yes.
But
Yes. Absolutely.
she also said yes to whatever God had for her in the future. And her
Yes.
healing didn't take as long as most people thought it would. All
Mm-hmm.
those people that was naysayers that was saying, "Oh, she's gonna go crazy. Oh, she's gonna be running after men. This was gonna happen to her. And all that." None of that happened. Why? Because she surrendered her life to Christ.
Yes.
And as Christians, we have to know and believe that the God that we gave our life to is the God that walks with us every day. When we wake up in the morning, when we go to bed at night, He walks with us. Psalms 23 and 4 tells us that. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Why? Because He is with me.
Yes.
God
Yes.
is with you in
Yes.
every
Yes.
circumstance. He knows
Yes.
before you even know that you was gonna walk through it. He walks with you through the darkest, deepest, darkest valley into the other side of it.
Yes.
And I just want
And
you
it
to know,
wasn't easy.
and it
It
wasn't
wasn't
easy
easy.
because
Um,
you had to make a decision every day. It was
Absolutely.
it
I'm
was a
still
daily
making
decision.
decisions
Yeah,
every day. I still have moments where I break down and cry. I still have moments of anxiety. You know, uh, it's difficult for me to go into a restaurant and sit down and eat by myself, but I'm like, this is a part of my healing. And
mhm.
I travel alone. Sometimes my mom and I'll go places, or I'll go and, hang out with my friends and visit them. But, when you have, if watch your mic is making a lot of noise.
Okay.
Um, you're still making noise with your mic. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know
so,
what that is. Okay.
so being alone after being connected for so many years is a difficult feat for a lot of women and men.
Yeah.
And then what kind of strategies, how do you beat the loneliness? The scripture says, I will never leave you nor forsake you.
Thank you.
So you've got to believe that He is still our comforter. I bought a body pillow, and my body pillow is next to me, but you do things that will help you cope until you don't have to,
Until you
until
don't have
you
to.
until you are totally at peace. It's like, there's some things that, um, I know is very difficult. And so when it gets difficult, I say, Dr. D, I need a session. I
He
need
does.
you now.
He does.
Because I'm having a meltdown. I'm having a moment. I'm crying. When my father passed, whose arms can I run to?
Mm,
When you've been leaning and depending on that person for so long, or those
right.
people for so long, even your children for so long, because there's going to come a time when my son is going to, be married and go off and do his own thing. Right now, he lives with me, and I just appreciate having company. I appreciate
Yeah.
him, being here with me. But, then there are times that, there's that's my son. Like, Okay, you here, but you not a husband. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's a difficult transition, and I just
So,
wanted.
so let me ask you a question. What do you do when lonely moments come? How do you fill that space?
I I turn on music because I like to dance.
Mm-hmm.
I watch comedy shows. One thing that I can say that the Lord did for me is I have several cousins that I grew up with. And the very day that I moved out, like got the movers and it moved all my stuff out of the place where we were staying, my cousins came into town. I hadn't seen one of my cousins for 30 years. And my fat family rallied around me. And July 3rd, the day that God said was my Independence Day, I did not spend that day crying. I thought I would be crying all that day, but I actually had fun with my cousins. We hung out, we went to eat, we played games for like 5 hours. I was with my family. Some I hadn't seen in a long time, some I had never met, his children. It was a way that God filled that gap. And so
Right.
now I have time to spend with my friends. When I left my ex, I didn't have a job. I didn't know where I was going. My stylist, she was like, "Oh, come stay with me and my kids." I had nowhere to go. I literally was like homeless, and she was like, "Come stay with us." God gives us a way of escape.
Yes,
God
it is.
places people in our lives. So family is now in my life. Friends are now in my life. I'm doing things differently.
So he
And just,
recreate he recreated a life for you, and
yes,
and that's what I wanted you to share, because we may be alone, but we're not lonely.
yeah,
God always provide opportunities and open doors for us to fellowship with other people. We have to make a choice to partake in what He's given us. So July 3rd, you was by yourself, but God opened a door, an opportunity for you to share life with other people. You didn't
yes,
say no, you said yes, God. And you
yes,
enjoy a day filled with
yes,
laughter, with love,
yes.
with
Family and
comfort.
love. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
so that is something that, even if you are still in a marriage and the moments of loneliness, God is still opening the door for you to feel the comfort, the love, the camaraderie,
Yes.
the
The
comfort that
peace.
you need. People,
Hmm.
God always will place someone in our path to fulfill
Yes,
a void in our lives.
absolutely. Well, 45 minutes
Oh,
is up. And that's usually about how long our sessions last. You can have a
yes.
30-minute session, you could have a 45-minute session, an hour session. And, if you are interested in having therapy, if you're needing therapy, check out Dr. Diana. You can email her at refreshingwordministries3.7 at gmail.com. Again, that is refreshingwordministries3.7 at gmail.com. Email her, schedule a discovery call with her, and let her help transition you to where you need to be, from your what if to your what is. And so I hope you have enjoyed my total transparency. I appreciate you coming and listening to Made to Lead Millions podcast. As always, this is a phenomenal opportunity. We're doing different things in 2026. Dr. Diana, if you will have me, if you don't mind, if you want to do another session with me, we can do it live. I just want people to know that um, therapy is not just for women, men too.
Yes,
And
it is.
therapy is something that we all can use to help through our life when life is lifing.
Yeah,
When
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 life is life. Yes,
Yes, when traumatic things happen, even if we don't think that
it's
they're
true.
traumatic, our body, our nervous system, our stomach, our sleepless nights are happening because trauma has happened. So,
Amen. That's true.
with that being said, Dr. Diana, your final words before we get off of here?
I just want to share this. Heal people talk differently.
Mm,
They process differently. They see differently. They hear differently. They walk differently. Why am I saying that? Because when you make a decision to be healed, it may not happen at that very moment. But when you allow yourself to be processed through the change, you begin to see through a new set of eyes, differently, totally different. You no longer hold on to what it shoulda, coulda, and should have been. You learn to let that go and say, I am grabbing hold to what is to be, who I
yes,
am in my future. Your
yes,
past, you can't do nothing to change it. Let
yes,
it stay in your past. Thank God for what you went through. Thank God for being processed through it, for going through all the emotion, the upheavals, but coming back down in His grace and say, yes, God, I'm ready for the next life you
yes.
have for me.
Yes, yes, God. Well,
Yes.
thank you so much. Again,
So
you
welcome.
have been listening to Made to Lead Millions podcast, where I was being very transparent with my therapist, Dr. Diana Davis, Dr. D. Please make sure that you listen, connect, share this podcast with somebody that might need therapy. Again, you can connect with her at Refreshing Word Ministries 3.7 at gmail.com. And if you're interested in being on the Made to Lead Millions podcast with myself, Coach Krystal Henry, please connect with me at coachkrystalhenry at gmail.com or krystalhenry.net. So
Amen.
until next time, God bless you all. Have a
God bless
great
you. Be
evening.
blessed.